Well, welcome back to Masculine Scrapping. As you know, or may have read, my mother passed away in January, and and we've also moved, so I've taken quite a hiatus in crafting as we've been moving and mourning. And now that we are settled, I am starting to work on scrapbooking again and have decided that my first few projects are going to be creating a memorial book for my mother. And so you can see here the start of this project. I'm going to actually, in this project, use my sewing machine as well. So you'll see a little bit of this. Have cut a lot of these things with my Cricut machine already. So we've got this little butterfly, and I wrote these two pieces on that as well. And this ribbon is actually from the flowers that I purchased for my mother's funeral, and I'm going to add that into this project as well. But we're going to start actually by sewing this rim onto the paper. And I'm not doing a 12 by 12 for this album. I'm actually going to do an 8.5 by 11, and the reason for that is a lot of the ephemera from the trip, I'm just taping some of this down here right now, is 8.5 by 11. I just thought it would be easier to do a smaller album. I think some of my sticky tape may have been damaged in the move because it's not really working real well. So, oof. Which is unfortunate, but we'll keep trying. Just putting a few tabs down on this so that it'll stick in place while I'm doing the sewing. And if you notice, I have also put some slight pencil marks where I don't want to sew. So we'll move over to the sewing machine now, and we'll show you a little bit more. Okay, we are at the sewing machine now, and I'm going to start on this pencil line, just get a little bit underneath it. Now this is going to be very interesting, and I'm going to just do this very slowly because I'm having to curve the pattern as I go, and I'll probably only tape one side because it will take a while. So I'm just using the guide from the sewing machine and just slowly spinning the paper as we go. I'm using kind of a kite pattern. I had experimented with some plant patterns, but I wanted to use purple, and they just didn't look quite right. So I feel happy with this pattern. Now, I'm not sewing in the photograph because I felt like there would be too many layers and it may not be able to make it through. And so it might be a little bumpy when we attach it later, but normally I would sew all the pieces together, but there's going to be 4 layers, and I thought this might just be a little simple. I'm really happy with the way this is turning out, so this is good. I'm just going to film one side. I'll show you the final product here in a bit, but you get the idea. Alright, we are back from the sewing machine, and you can see how I have now done both sides in that pattern. And I do have some extra string pieces here, and on the back I'm just going to tape them down. The front we will have to snip a little bit, but I'm just going to tape them down like this to keep them from flying around. It also helps to strengthen the back. You can see there's quite a few holes in there, and that could end up leading to the paper tearing. So sometimes, in fact, I think I am going to do it here. I'm going to take some of this tape and I'm just going to do this. It'll strengthen it so it doesn't fall apart down the road because there's too many holes from the paper stitching. Yeah, I might have curled that one a little bit too much. It's okay. And then on the front, we're just going to have to clip these a little close. I did use an ending stitch, which ties it off a bit, so I think it should be okay. Also, these will end up underneath the title blocks. Okay, so we have that piece there. Next thing we're going to do is attach this border to the photo. And I want to make sure I capture as much of my mother in the mix as I can. Oops, yeah, I really think that I have, darn it, this is not working well at all. Normally they do, but I may have to try a different series. This is a different kind of sticky adhesive. We'll use that from now on. Okay, so once it's down, it's down. So I've got to really be careful. There we go. I'm happy with that. And then same thing here. I want to make sure I get a lot right there where it's bowing a little bit. And I've got one shot at this as well to try and get it really centered. There we go. Looks like that's it. So there we go. I've got that page. I think I want to go ahead and get the ribbon down. And I'm going to put the ribbon right to the end. And again, I'm going to sew a pattern on this one. Probably the same one as before. So I'm just going to get this down. There we go. And then I'm going to bring this back on, but I want to tear it, and so it has a torn edge. Give a little bit more interest to the page. This is a jagged edge tearing tool. I've really enjoyed using those, and I think, again, the tape that I'm putting on right now, or the adhesive, really is to just hold it in place. And when we sew, let's see how, yeah, I feel okay about that. And I've got some space there. I think I'm gonna pull this back up a bit. I want to get it a little more even. There we go. That looks a little better. On the ribbon, I am just going to fold it back and stick it in place. If you cut the ribbon, you can get frayed edges. I've done that before and then used the glue, but I've not been terribly happy with the way the glue has turned out. So I do have a ribbon crimper somewhere, and I will most likely use that to finalize the seam on that piece. But I need to cut off the extra here without damaging the ribbon. Oh, I might have got the ribbon on that one. Okay, not too happy about that. now flip it over. Same thing here. I've got to get real close to the edge. So we're getting near the end here. I do need to, I'm gonna sew a pattern on there. That shouldn't be too hard, but let's go ahead and put these down. Again, I'm gonna get quite a bit of glue or adhesive on this because I'm going over the top of the of sewing, and so it'll make it a little harder. This will end up going here, but I'm going to go ahead and do that sewing first, so let me do that and then I will be back. Alright, we're back. You can see barely maybe, but I have put in a row of stars along the edge. So again, to control these extra threads, we'll just bring them to the back and tape them down. I also think, just to add a little more stability, I'm going to tape down the corners of this as well. Just make it a little stronger. Went over the edge a little bit here, so we'll just trim that off. There we go. And now, final step, we'll add in our butterfly made on the Cricut machine. And there we go. This is the opening page of the memorial album for my mother, who passed away in January. Thank you for watching, and take care. Would love to see your projects.